Sagres, the end of the world. I mean, it sounds really dramatic, but deep in the southwestern corner of Europe lies one of the most historically significant towns in Portugal, possibly Europe. Two big cliffy points break the Atlantic swells that roll in from the west and provide calmer, more protected waters south and east of the mainland. Cape St. Vincent to the northwest and Cape Sagres a little further to the southeast. Now, I was very lucky to be hosted by Martinhal. They very kindly provided me with a bed for the night, me and my mate Mauro, and we went down to Martinhal, enjoyed their services, and based ourselves to check out Sagres. Now, getting to Sagres from Faro Airport will set you back 1 hour and 20 minutes in a car. And it's worth noting that the A22 highway ends in Bensafrim, which is close to Lagos. The rest of the time you'll be travelling along our famous main road, the EN125. You can take public transport by train to Lagos and then by bus to Sagres, but prepare yourself for an adventure, as it may take up to 5 hours or so. Use rometorio.com for schedules. Unlike many other towns in the Algarve, archaeology suggests that there were no human beings living here in prehistory, but this place was regarded as a gathering place for the gods because there was no one there. So it's like they thought, well, why? If no one's there, then there must be a place for the gods. And people used to practice what they call divine veneration. They would venerate their divinities. Now, what does that mean? Basically, that means that they would sacrifice the odd lamb or whatever, pay respects to the gods, and through rituals and prayer and all kinds of different ways. Now, the reason one of the capes is called Cape St. Vincent is because back in the 8th century, when the Muslims dominated the place and the Muslims were ruling it, there was a sect of Christians still in existence down here near Sagres, and they managed to bury the mortal remains of St. Vincent, who was a martyr. And henceforth they named the Cape St. Vincent. After the Moors were routed, and a little bit later in 1443, Infante Henrique, who was the son of King John I, he was born in Porto, and he came down and he was awarded the lands around Sagres. I don't know what the locals thought of that, but it was just turned over to him. And he actually created a village in Sagres called Vila do Infante, and he managed this village from Lagos, obviously from the comfort of his palace or whatever was there. And he managed the areas looking after the fishermen and taking taxes and stuff, and looking after the gold rights, because what he also did was he set up a school for navigators, and he was also called Henry the Navigator. And this enabled all our Portuguese ships to cruise the world and exploit all the countries we could by having a technological advantage of understanding navigation. And that's why Portugal was at the forefront of the age of discoveries and managed to plunder so much wealth from so many places. So also, Infante Henrique, Henry the Navigator, was instrumental in setting up the slave trade in the Algarve. And, that carried on a long way, all the way to the 1800s. And you can actually go to Lagos and there's a slave museum there where they used to be traded. So horrible time, really horrible time. So that's the history. And then also another interesting point was in 1587, Sir Francis Drake came along and decided to attack the fortress of Sagres because there was a little chink in the relationship between England and Portugal, which is one of the longest treaties in the world. I think it was since 1387, I think. Anyway, so there was, in 1587, there was a little bit of a problem, and Sir Francis Drake came along with 800 men and attacked the fortress of Sagres, and within 2 hours he had destroyed half of it. So yeah, interesting times, really interesting times. Fancy schmancy, it's like the Quinto Lago of the West. I just want to jump in here and thank the Martinhal team for letting us stay the night, so we could both make this video and an upcoming video all about Algarve. Now, Martinhal is a collection of luxury family-friendly hotels based in Portugal. They're celebrating their 10-year anniversary and have recently opened a school in Lisbon as well. It's a great company. Check them out on martinhal.com. And they also have an Instagram at Martinhal. Ah, this is us. Number 126. We'll leave the bathroom for later, but this is quite a swanky room, actually. Okay, so what do we got? Bath. and there's Nick. And then we've got the throne and the shower, which looks quite nice and big. Oh my gosh, sorry, where are my manners? This is Mauro, and him and I used to work in my stand-up paddle school, and he was my partner for a while. Mauro's a lifeguard, lifesaver, surf instructor, surf tour guide, you name it. He's really good on the water. So Mauro, why do you think no one's playing table tennis today?
I have no idea, man. It seems like a lovely day for some table tennis.
You're exploring, bro.
Do you think the 125 is bottom and top?
No,
that's
I think we've got a duplex here.
So how do you get up there? It must be through the door.
Yeah, there's a thing up here. There's another level up here. Look here.
Oh, there
you walk up here and just go across there. To-do lists normally have hotels and restaurants on them, but you've seen the hotel. We'll get to the bars and restaurants in a little bit. Some activities to do around Sagres are as follows. Now, surfing is the biggest thing going on down here, and obviously everything related to water sports and surf, because of the great beaches on the west coast, get great swell from the Atlantic. So some of these beaches are fantastic. Ponte Ruiva, Eiras, Telheiro, Beliche, Tunel, Mareta, Martinhal, and Barranco. Now, if that's not your thing, surfing, how about a simple walk? Do the Torre de Aspe hiking trail, 9-kilometer loop, or just stroll around the hilltops. There's a ton of walking to do around here. You can also visit Cabo de São Vicente or Cape St. Vincent. You can, you can see the mortal remains. Actually, I don't know if they're still around. I think they might have gone away a while back, of St. Vincent the Martyr. Visit Fortaleza de Sagres like we did, and it's fun. If it's really blowing like it was when we were there, you can jump around and do all kinds of slow motion videos. Fun. Get down on the strip. Now, straight after that, Mauro and I had to go for a beer, because what else are we going to do? Funky bars and restaurants abound. However, don't expect a steaming hotspot. It's pretty chilled out around here, but there were quite a few people about when we went down on a Thursday in early March, and we had a good time. It's like a balcony. I've been here before. That is when you open the door.
IPA, Weiss, and Dunkel.
Cheers, dude. Nice to have you on board, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
We headed down towards the harbour and looked for a restaurant to have a dinner in. And oh look, there's another hotel. I thought there was only the one and only Martinhal in Sagres, but yeah, looks like there's another one. I wonder if it's as good. So we headed down towards the harbour, found this restaurant called Tasca Sagres, and noted that down for later. Headed back, had a few beers, and scanned around. There are some really cool places in Sagres, and I was beginning to think, when I arrived in Sagres, I always think of Sagres as this wild, windy, sort of barren place. And it's starting to grow on me, because there's some really cool little spots. Sure, you might have to wear a jersey in midsummer and night, but It's really got a little bit of a charm. It really does. So you want to live here in Sagres? Well, you'll need to buy a fully detached house, or a villa, as we call them here. There are hardly any apartments around here for sale. So the average price for a 2 to 3 bedroom villa is around 4,000 euros per square meter. So a 120 square meter or 1,300 square foot house would go for about 480k on average. You'd be lucky to find anything to rent. But if you're totally in love with the place and really want to rent down there, I reckon the only way you're going to do it is get down to Sagres yourself physically and look around, speak to people, look at notice boards on the thing, or jump onto the Facebook groups, like I've suggested in my video all about rentals. Martinhal has a few fantastic places on offer as well. It is a hotel and resort. There's also a large residential section to the development. In Sagres, there's one supermarket, the Intermarché, and a few small mini mercados around and about. There's also a spa mini market, or like a convenience store on the Rua Commandant Matoso, and that's very, very close to where Mauro and I had a few beers on the main strip there. Just down the road from those bars in Sagres, there is one chemist or a pharmacy, and there's another one in Vila do Bispo. The closest private clinic that I know of is in Luz, which is quite a way away. It's about half an hour's drive at least. And the closest private hospital is in Lagos, and that's part of the HPA group. They've got a table for 2. I reckon we should go for it.
Yes, I think so. It looks very nice.
I haven't even seen the menu. Just do it. Quite an interesting arrangement. That looks rather fantastic, Mauro.
It doesn't look so bad, eh? Look at
Not so bad. Look at that. It's being served for me and everything. Muito obrigado, senhor. Look at that. Obrigado. So Mauro's just about to dig into the scary bits here and start cracking. Oh my god, should do this in slow mo.
I'm gonna spray all over your camera.
Oh my god.
It's already pre-cracked.
Okay, there's an update. It's all gone, and we've got to get your...
Look at that, that's the 3rd plate like that. 4th maybe.
There've been 3 plates like that.
Well, this? Yeah, 3 at least.
3 plates.
4 maybe.
Here she comes. You can take it away. Thank you very much.
Now even the couch.
Because you're a lifesaver, huh?
I'm a lifeguard.
A lifeguard.
Right, so we're very safe here, having dinner. Very safe.
It's not that I always save people. I say, don't go in there, you're going to die.
That's a prevention is better than the cure.
That's the thing.
This is Dos da Casa.
Dos São Vicente.
Ah, no, Dos da Casa. It looks quite sweet.
It is Dos da Casa, which is called Dos São Vicente.
You ready to lose, Mauro?
Let's see.
This is what happens in Sagres. We party time, man. This guy's so cool. He's just got one strap and no board cover. That's just bizarre, isn't it? What's a code? What's a code? Let's check a code. Come on. This is how you draw money in Portugal.
Hey, dude, what's your code, man?
What's the code? Give me the code.
Give me your money. Vice?
Vice, yeah, it's for me, thanks. And then, what are you having? A dunkel?
Yeah, this one here.
The Bengal amber. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and this video about Sagres is one of many videos about all the towns in the Algarve. I'll leave a link to a playlist right here, so you can go through them all at your leisure, or if you want, you can go to my website, algarveaddicts.com, and look for the videos tab, and you'll find a map there of all the videos that I've done around the Algarve, just so you can get a great picture of the place. But obviously, nothing is quite like scouting for real. So if you are coming over here, I can help you out and I'll come on a day tour with you, and jump onto my website as well to get more details of that. Anyway, I love doing this, and I want to thank you so much for watching. So if you've got any tips and tricks and stuff like that and any advice for me, just drop it in the comments. Always keen to hear, always keen to grow, because I'm looking at this as a long-term thing. So excited for the future. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate it. See you next time.
AlgarveAddicts.com